Hi everyone, welcome to Super Crafty Gal. Today we are going to be making jewelry from UV resin and some dried flowers. First we're going to start by taking some seamless resin tape and cutting a piece big enough for our bezel. This stuff is super sticky. Pick which side of the bezel you would like to be the back and stick it to the sticky side of your tape. Cut it with the scissors. Try to get your bezel to stay in one place. Okay. Putting on safety glasses, safety goggles, and my gloves. Okay. The mistake I made the most was I kept touching the tape with the gloves. Try not to. It's not fun. Now that the bezel is good and stuck to the tape, we're going to make sure we have all of our tools close at hand. These are the flowers that I picked out. They really are pretty little dried flowers. I think they've been either dyed or painted the colors that they are. All right, this is Mr. Resin, UV resin. I ordered this one from Amazon, and it came with this light. It's a 16-watt UV LED lamp. And it has a 45-second setting and a 60-second setting. Okay, cap is off. We're just going to put a thin layer of the UV resin just to create ourselves a base to put our flowers on. You need to try to get it, up to the edges. I didn't want to overfill because we do want room for our flowers to be as much in the middle as we can get in between the layers. It's nice to have paper towels on hand. This can get quite messy. But I just used my tweezers here in trying to move everything as close to the edges as I can. Trying to get out some of those bubbles. Those bubbles were close to the bottom. And I was trying to get them to rise up. It didn't work so well, but this is just a regular barbecue grill lighter. And it's got a child safety on it, which proved to be a puzzle for me. But once I did get it lit, just go over it slightly. Try not to stay in one place and try not to get the flame too close because it can burn your resin and discolor it. Once again, trying to get any of the bubbles. One more time with the lighter. You can do it with a heat gun, but the heat gun to me seemed just for a little project like this seemed to be a bit of an overkill. Okay. I'm going to cure this layer And looks are deceiving. It was really 45 seconds that I cured it for, but I went ahead and sped up that part of the video. Okay, and now I'm just going to lay them in there. And the surface was a little bit tacky still. It wasn't jellified. It wasn't, I wasn't in danger of the pliers or the tweezers sinking into the resin. But it was just tacky enough that it helped hold on a little bit to the flowers to keep them in place. Had to take a break and clean my tweezers. They were a little sticky. And you can clean it when you clean your tools. You can clean them with just a little bit of rubbing alcohol, isopropyl alcohol, and it'll help get rid of the sticky off of your tools. Okay, I'm going to tap that back down. Make sure it's good and in place. I was trying to get, I didn't want any of the leaves poking up. All right, and a little flower. And you really want to make sure you have these where you want them, because the next step is adding more resin to the top. And once you cure it, it's permanent. You cannot move the flowers. Once again, we're going to add all the way to the edge, but you want to be careful not to overflow the bezel. You don't want it going over the edge of the metal. All right, and try to work it in all the way to the edge. Make sure there's no gaps. Making sure that the flower is covered. That the leaves are laying down and behaving like they should. Okay. Now we're going to flame it again. Try to get as many of those bubbles out as we can. And right here, I don't know if you can see right on the green leaf, you see a white spot. That's actually a bubble. I had several come up from under. See, there's another one right there that I had several come up from under the flower that I really wish I had taken even more time than this to try to pop them all. Because if you watch close, you can see around the edge of the flower, at the top of the leaf, some of them got trapped and were trying to surface. And in the process, it was pushing the flower towards the top of the resin. I wasn't as worried about this being perfect as I was about, this was the first time that I had made anything with resin. And I was, I did play with it a few times, but this was the first time making a project out of the resin. And I really wanted it to be a learning experience. All right, and that time I did it for 60 seconds. And I'm just in an inconspicuous spot, making sure it has hardened. And I really should have hardened it more than what I did. If you look at this tape, you see around the edge, you can see what looks like wet when I stick it down in the shape of the bezel. That is because the resin was not quite cured. It still had a little bit of a liquidy consistency around the edges. But once I had it off of the tape, You can see right there how liquidy it looks in spots. But once I had it off of the tape, you know, I did go back and put it on, or with the resin light, the UV light. You see it on my silicone mat too, where it had just enough liquid coming out. This is why I really wish I had taken my time and had more patience. Another round of UV. And there you go. The colors of these flowers and the leaves did bleed a little bit into the resin. But not enough to really detour it, you know, to take away from it. But here's the jump ring and piece of cord. And the cords came with the bezel necklace, or the bezel pendants. All right, taking 2 pairs of pliers, needle nose pliers, closing the jump ring. Sorry about all the blurry. I was working with a new camera. Okay, now that that is hooked, I'm just running the cord through. And there you have a finished resin necklace. Please come back and see us again where we do more resin crafts. Also check out our video for another bezel necklace like this, but using 2-part epoxy. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day.